In the heart of Southeast Asia, where rivers carve a nation's soul, the Mekong begins its eternal journey. From the wind-swept Tibetan plateau, a single drop of water begins a journey. It trickles, then flows, joining countless others to form a single mighty artery. This is the Mekong, the mother of rivers, born in the clouds and destined for the sea. For thousands of kilometers, it carves its path through Asia, gathering stories, carrying secrets, and shaping the very land it touches. But it is here, in its final embrace with the South, that its true power is revealed. This is the story of the Mekong Delta, the emerald heart of Vietnam. Our journey begins where the river splits, its powerful current fanning out into 9 distinct branches, giving this region its Vietnamese name, Cuu Long, the 9 dragons. These 9 waterways are not just rivers. They are the lifelines of a nation, a sprawling network of arteries and veins that nourish the soil and the soul of the people who live here. The landscape transforms from rugged mountains into a vast, flat expanse of unimaginable green. This isn't just a river delta, it's a world built on water. For centuries, life in the Mekong Delta has moved to the rhythm of the river. The annual floods, once feared, are now welcomed as a gift. They bring with them the alluvium, the nutrient-rich silt that has made this one of the most fertile regions on Earth. It's this silt that turns the water a murky brown, a color that signifies life and abundance. It's the secret ingredient in the Delta's agricultural miracle, a natural fertilizer that replenishes the land year after year, asking for nothing in return. And what a miracle it is. They call this place the Rice Bowl of Vietnam, and for good reason. From the air, the delta is a patchwork quilt of paddy fields, shimmering in shades of green and gold. The sheer scale is breathtaking. This region alone produces more than half of Vietnam's rice, feeding millions and exporting to countries across the globe. We see farmers, their conical hats dotting the landscape, tending to their crops with a skill passed down through generations. It's hard, back-breaking work, done under a relentless sun, but it is a labor of love, a partnership with the river. But rice is only the beginning of the story. The fertile soil and abundant water create a paradise for all kinds of agriculture. We drift along smaller canals, shaded by the lush canopies of orchards. Here the air is heavy with the sweet scent of ripening fruit. Farmers paddle their sampans, small wooden boats, piled high with the day's harvest, their faces reflecting a quiet pride in the bounty their land provides. This isn't industrial farming, it's a garden on a colossal scale. Life here is lived on the water. Houses are built on stilts, rising above the floodwaters, their foundations deeply connected to the river's ebb and flow. Children learn to swim before they can walk, and the sampan is the family car, the school bus, and the delivery truck all in one. To truly understand the Delta, you must get on the water yourself. The main channels are highways of commerce, bustling with larger boats transporting goods. But the real magic is found in the smaller, quieter canals. As we navigate these narrow waterways, it feels like entering another world. The roar of motorbikes fades, replaced by the gentle splash of a paddle, the chirping of unseen insects, and the calls of birds. Sunlight filters through a dense ceiling of water coconut palms, creating a dappled, dreamlike light on the surface of the water. It's peaceful, almost meditative. This is the intimate side of the Delta, where you can see the intricate web of life that the river supports. Nowhere is the vibrant energy of the Delta more apparent than at a floating market. Long before sunrise, the river awakens. Hundreds of boats, big and small, converge on a wide stretch of water, creating a floating city of commerce. It's a chaotic, colorful, and captivating spectacle. Boats are laden with produce, each specializing in a particular item. How do you know what they're selling? You just look up. Each boat owner hangs a sample of their goods from a tall bamboo pole, an ingenious, low-tech advertising system. A woman in a small boat skillfully maneuvers through the traffic, selling steaming bowls of po for breakfast. A deal is struck, Pineapples are tossed from one boat to another, and the air is filled with the sounds of bargaining, laughter, and the gentle lapping of water against wood. This isn't a tourist attraction, it is the beating heart of the local economy. It's where farmers become merchants, where communities connect, and where the river provides not just sustenance, but a livelihood. The Mekong is also a source of immense biodiversity. It's home to thousands of species of fish, including the giant catfish, which can grow to the size of a human. Fishing has been a way of life here for millennia. We see fishermen casting their nets in the early morning mist, their movements a graceful, practiced ballet. The river provides protein for the daily meal and an income for their families. But this incredible biodiversity is fragile, facing threats from upstream development and a changing climate. As our journey nears its end, the 9 dragons finally meet the sea. Here, where fresh water mixes with salt, a unique ecosystem thrives. The river deposits the last of its precious silt, building out the coastline, continuing the slow, patient work of creation it began thousands of kilometers away. The horizon opens up, and the scale of the river's final act is humbling. It has traveled across a continent, nurtured civilizations, and built a fertile paradise. Standing here, looking out at the South China Sea, you can feel the immense power and generosity of the Mekong. It has given so much to so many. The people of the Delta don't just live by the river, they live with it, as a part of it. Their culture, their food, their very identity is shaped by its currents. The river is a provider, a teacher, and a constant companion. It is the beginning and the end of all things. The soul of the South, carried on the brown waters of the Kulong, the 9 dragons, flows on into the endless ocean. As the day fades and the river rests, the spirit of the Mekong endures, forever flowing through the heart of Vietnam. In the heart of Southeast Asia, a river of life completes its epic journey. After traveling nearly 5,000 kilometers from the Tibetan Plateau, through the mountains and forests of 6 nations, the mighty Mekong reaches the sea. But before it merges with the ocean, it performs one last spectacular act of creation. Here, in the southern tip of Vietnam, it splinters, fanning out into 9 shimmering veins, transforming the landscape into a vast, watery world. This is the Mekong Delta, a place affectionately known as Kulong, the land of the 9 dragons. For centuries, these 9 rivers have been the lifeblood of the people, depositing rich, fertile silt that has turned this delta into one of the most productive agricultural regions on the planet. It's a landscape in constant motion, a liquid labyrinth of rivers, canals, and streams that weave through a tapestry of emerald green rice paddies, coconut groves, and fruit orchards. The air is thick with the scent of tropical blossoms and the sweet smell of ripening fruit. This is not just a place on a map. It's a living, breathing ecosystem, a symphony of water, land, and life. Life in the delta is inextricably tied to the rhythm of the water. Here, roads are rivers, and boats are the primary mode of transport. From the crack of dawn, the waterways buzz with activity. Long-tail boats, known as vo lai, skillfully navigate the narrowest of canals, their engines creating a distinctive hum that echoes across the water. Larger vessels, laden with coconuts, pineapples, and bags of rice, chug steadily towards bustling markets. Every boat tells a story of trade, of family, of a deep-seated connection to this aquatic world. The most vibrant expressions of this life are the floating markets. Kai Rang and Kai Bi are legendary, chaotic ballets of commerce that have existed for generations. Hundreds of boats, big and small, converge at first light. It's a sensory explosion. Sellers advertise their wares not with signs, but by hanging a sample of their product from a tall bamboo pole fixed to their boat. A pineapple, a bunch of bananas, a string of sweet potatoes. These are the billboards of the river. The air is filled with the calls of vendors, the friendly banter of bargaining, and the sizzle of food being cooked on tiny boat stoves. You can buy a steaming bowl of pho or a strong Vietnamese coffee without ever leaving your own vessel. It's a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of a people who have built their entire world upon the water. But the Delta is more than its markets. It's a place of quiet beauty and hidden wonders. Glide down a smaller, palm-fringed canal, and the noise of the main river fades away, replaced by the gentle splash of a paddle and the chirping of unseen birds. Sunlight filters through the dense canopy of water coconut palms, dappling the surface of the water in patterns of light and shadow. You see small wooden homes built on stilts, their verandas adorned with flowers, children waving as you pass by. It's a glimpse into a way of life that is both simple and profoundly connected to nature. The fertility of the Nine Dragons is legendary. This is Vietnam's rice bowl, producing more than half of the country's rice. The cycle of planting and harvesting rice is a ritual that has defined generations. Farmers, their conical hats dotting the landscape, work in fields that stretch to the horizon. The Delta is also a paradise of fruit. Rambutan, longan, jackfruit, and the notorious durian grow in abundance, their flavors more intense and succulent here than anywhere else. Visiting an orchard, you can walk among the trees, picking fruit straight from the branch, a taste of the pure, unadulterated bounty of the land. The artisans of the Delta transform this natural abundance into unique crafts. In workshops tucked away in quiet villages, you can see the magic of coconut candy being made, a process of boiling coconut milk and malt syrup to create a chewy, fragrant confection. Elsewhere, families have perfected the art of making rice paper, a delicate process of steaming and sun-drying thin sheets of rice batter. These are not just products, they are traditions, skills passed down from parent to child, each piece a small piece of the Delta's soul. The people of the Delta are as warm and generous as the land itself. Their hospitality is genuine, their smiles quick and welcoming. They live with an awareness of the river's power, its ability to give and to take away. They have learned to adapt, to live in harmony with the floods and the changing seasons. There is a philosophy here, an acceptance of the flow of life, much like the river that shapes their world. Their stories are woven into the very fabric of this place, tales of mythical serpents, of brave ancestors, and of the enduring spirit of the Nine Dragons. However, this unique world is facing unprecedented challenges. Climate change, rising sea levels, and the construction of upstream dams are altering the delicate balance of the Delta. The flow of water and sediment, the very things that created and sustained this fertile land, is being disrupted. Saline intrusion is threatening rice paddies, and coastal erosion is changing the shoreline. The Nine Dragons are under threat, and with them, the livelihoods of millions. Yet the people of the Mekong Delta are resilient. They are innovators, finding new ways to farm, adapting their crops, and working to protect their environment. Their fight to save their home is a fight to preserve a unique cultural heritage and a vital ecosystem. It's a reminder that this watery world, for all its beauty and abundance, is fragile. Its future depends on our collective understanding and action. As the sun sets, the Delta is painted in hues of orange, pink, and gold. The water becomes a mirror, reflecting the sky's fiery farewell. The engines of the boats quieten, and a peaceful hush descends. It's a time for reflection, a moment to appreciate the profound beauty and complexity of this place. The Nine Dragons, even as they face an uncertain future, continue to flow, carrying the stories, the dreams, and the spirit of Vietnam out to the vast ocean. Their journey is a timeless epic, a story of life, of struggle, and of enduring hope, written in water and silt upon the heart of the land. This is the Cu Long, a world unlike any other, a treasure to be cherished and protected. Here in Vietnam, families rise and rest by the water's timeless rhythm. The sun rises, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, and its first light doesn't just touch the mountains or the fields. It kisses the surface of the mighty Mekong River, bringing it to life. For countless generations, this river hasn't just been a backdrop. It's been the very pulse of existence. It's the highway, the marketplace, the playground, and the provider. Welcome to a world where life flows as steadily and powerfully as the water itself. Before the rest of the world has had its first cup of coffee, the river is already bustling with activity. Small wooden boats, known as sampans, glide silently through the morning mist. At the helm, you'll find figures who know this water not by maps, but by heart. They are the men and women of the Mekong Delta, their faces etched with the stories of the sun and the river. They're not just navigating a waterway, they're commuting to work, taking their children to school, and heading to the market, all on this vast, liquid road. Have you ever seen a market that floats? Here, it's not just a novelty, it's a centuries-old tradition. The Kai Rang floating market, one of the largest in the Delta, is a spectacle of color, sound, and life. Hundreds of boats, big and small, gather in a vibrant, chaotic, yet perfectly orchestrated dance. Each boat specializes in something different. You'll see boats piled high with pineapples, their spiky green tops creating a miniature floating forest. Another boat might be a mountain of watermelons, while its neighbor is overflowing with sweet potatoes, coconuts, or fiery red chilies. It's a feast for the senses. The air is filled with the cheerful shouts of vendors advertising their goods, the friendly haggling between buyers. To order something, you don't look at a menu. You look up. Each seller hoists a sample of their produce on a long bamboo pole. A simple, brilliant system that lets you see what's for sale from a distance. Fancy a bowl of pho for breakfast? Just flag down a floating kitchen, a small boat expertly equipped with a stove, fresh ingredients, and a smiling chef ready to serve you a steaming, delicious noodle soup right on the water. It's more than commerce. It's a community gathering, a daily festival of life. But the river's influence extends far beyond the morning markets. As you drift away from the main thoroughfares, you enter a labyrinth of smaller canals and tributaries, shaded by lush coconut palms and fruit trees. This is where you find the true heart of the Delta. Here, life slows down even more. You'll see children splashing and laughing by the water's edge, their joy as clear and pure as the river on a calm day. Fishermen cast their nets with a graceful, practiced motion, a skill passed down from father to son, from mother to daughter. Their patience is a testament to a life lived in harmony with nature's pace. Along the banks, stilt houses stand proudly, their wooden legs planted firmly in the riverbed. These homes are marvels of practical design, built to withstand the seasonal ebb and flow of the water. Life is lived in the open here. Families gather on their porches, weaving baskets, mending fishing nets, or simply sharing stories as the river flows by. There's a profound sense of connection, not just to each other, but to the environment that sustains them. The river isn't something to be conquered or controlled. It's a respected elder, a powerful force to be understood and lived with. The land itself is a gift from the river. The Mekong carries rich, fertile silt from its long journey, depositing it across the delta and creating some of the most productive agricultural land on earth. This is Vietnam's rice bowl. The vibrant green of the rice paddies stretches as far as the eye can see, a testament to the incredible bounty of this region. Farmers here don't just grow rice. They cultivate a deep understanding of the seasons, the rainfall, and the subtle shifts in the water level. Their work is hard, often done under the relentless sun, but it's performed with a quiet dignity and a deep sense of purpose. They are feeding a nation, and their partner in this vital task is the river. But it's not just rice. The orchards of the Mekong Delta are legendary. Walk through a local garden, and you'll be surrounded by the sweet scent of mangoes, the exotic allure of dragon fruit, the spiky exterior of rambutan, and the notorious, unforgettable aroma of durian. These fruits are not just produce. They are jewels of the Delta, each one bursting with the flavor of this unique, water-fed land. Much of this fruit finds its way back to the floating markets, completing the cycle of life and commerce that defines the region. As the afternoon sun begins to soften, the pace of life changes once again. The bustling markets begin to disperse as vendors head home, their boats sitting a little lower in the water, heavy with the day's earnings. The work in the fields and orchards winds down. It's a time for rest, for family. You might see a family gathered in a hammock strung between two coconut trees, gently swaying in the breeze. Or perhaps you'll hear the gentle melody of a traditional folk song, carried across the water, a song that tells tales of love, loss, and life on the river. The people here possess a gentle spirit, a humility that comes from living so close to the immense power of nature. They are resourceful, turning water hyacinths into beautiful woven crafts, or using coconut shells to create simple, elegant bowls. Nothing is wasted. There's an inherent wisdom in their way of life, a recognition that they are part of a larger ecosystem. They understand that their well-being is directly tied to the health of the river. When you speak with them, you'll find a warmth and generosity that is truly humbling. They are quick to smile, to offer you a piece of fruit or a cup of tea, to share a piece of their lives with a stranger. Despite the hardships that can come with a life dependent on the whims of nature, the floods, the droughts, there is an unshakable resilience, an optimism that flows as constantly as the Mekong itself. Their wealth isn't measured in possessions, but in the strength of their family bonds, the support of their community, and the enduring bounty of the river. As dusk settles, the river transforms once more. The sky explodes into a final, breathtaking display of color, its reflection shimmering on the water's surface. The sounds of the day fade, replaced by the gentle lapping of water against the boats and the chorus of insects and frogs. Lanterns begin to flicker on in the stilt houses, their warm glow casting long, dancing shadows on the river. The river, which was a highway of commerce just hours ago, now becomes a tranquil, silver path under the moon. This daily cycle, from the misty dawn to the quiet night, has been repeated for centuries. It's a rhythm that has shaped the culture, the character, and the very soul of the people of the Mekong Delta. Their lives are an intricate dance with the water, a partnership built on respect, resilience, and a deep, abiding love for the river that gives them everything. It's a powerful reminder that in a world that often seems to be moving too fast, there are still places where life flows at its own, natural, timeless pace. Have you ever felt the pulse of a place, not just through its bustling cities, but through the quiet devotion and explosive joy of its people? Come with me on a journey to Vietnam, where faith isn't just confined to ancient texts. It flows like the mighty Mekong, shaping the very rhythm of life. We're venturing into the heart of its deltas, where the water is a lifeline and the festivals are a vibrant tapestry woven from centuries of tradition. Imagine this. As dusk settles over the lush green rice paddies, a different kind of light begins to flicker. Not from streetlights, but from countless temples and communal houses, each one a star in a sprawling constellation of faith. These aren't just buildings, they're the soul of the community, where generations have gathered to honor their ancestors, pray to village guardians, and celebrate the cycles of nature. Here, the rivers and canals are the main highways, and life moves at a gentler pace. Boats laden with flowers, fruits, and offerings drift towards sacred sites. The air, thick with the scent of incense and blooming lotus, carries the faint echo of chanting and traditional music. This is where the spiritual and the everyday merge, where a simple boat ride can feel like a pilgrimage. We're about to witness some of the most spectacular folk festivals Vietnam has to offer. These aren't sterile, staged events for tourists. They are raw, living traditions. Think electrifying boat races, where entire villages cheer on their teams, their shouts of encouragement echoing across the water. The rhythmic pounding of drums syncs with the frantic paddling, a powerful display of community strength and spirit. Picture the night sky illuminated by thousands of floating lanterns, each one a whispered prayer or a heartfelt wish sent drifting down the river. It's a breathtaking spectacle, a river of light mirroring the stars above. The water reflects a kaleidoscope of colors from the ornate decorations and the traditional Ao Dai dresses worn by the festival goers. But it's not all quiet reverence. These festivals are explosions of joy. You'll hear the laughter of children playing traditional games, the sizzle of street food being cooked on open fires, and the captivating stories of folk singers recounting ancient legends. We'll see mesmerizing dragon dances, where performers move with an almost supernatural grace, their colorful costumes swirling in a hypnotic display. One of the most unique aspects we'll explore is the worship of water deities and river spirits. In a land so defined by its waterways, it's no surprise that the people hold a deep respect for the power of the river. Festivals are held to appease the spirits, to pray for calm waters, bountiful harvests, and safe passage for the fishermen and traders who depend on the delta. We'll visit the Ba Chua Shu Festival at Sam Mountain, one of the largest in the country, where hundreds of thousands of pilgrims flock to show their devotion. The energy is palpable, a mix of solemn ritual and festive celebration. From the washing of the statue to the elaborate processions, every act is steeped in meaning and tradition. Then, we'll drift towards the Mekong Delta for the Okombok Festival of the Khmer people. It's a thanksgiving ceremony to the moon god for the year's harvest. Families gather by the riverbank, making offerings of new rice and praying under the full moon. It's a beautiful, intimate glimpse into the syncretic culture of the Delta, where different ethnic groups and beliefs have coexisted and enriched one another for centuries. We'll also witness the Ngin Ong Festival, a vibrant parade on water dedicated to the whale god, believed to be the guardian of fishermen. Entire flotillas of boats, brightly decorated with flags and flowers, escort a symbolic whale in a grand procession, praying for protection and a prosperous season at sea. The sight of these boats, all moving together in a show of collective faith, is truly something to behold. These festivals are more than just a party. They are the glue that holds communities together. It's a time for families to reunite, for old friends to catch up, and for the entire village to work towards a common goal. Preparing for a festival takes months of collaboration, from building the racing boats to weaving the intricate decorations and practicing for the musical performances. And the food. Oh, the food is a festival in itself. Each region, each festival has its own specialties. We're talking about sticky rice cakes wrapped in banana leaves, sweet soups filled with tropical fruits, and savory pancakes sizzling on hot griddles. Eating here isn't just about sustenance, it's a communal act, a way of sharing the bounty of the land and the joy of the occasion. Through these celebrations, we see a side of Vietnam that is deeply spiritual, incredibly joyful, and fiercely proud of its heritage. It's a world where the sacred is found in the flow of the river, in the light of a lantern, and in the shared laughter of a community. It's a reminder that faith doesn't always have to be silent or somber. It can be a vibrant, thrumming, living force that moves with the rhythm of the water. This journey is about understanding that the soul of Vietnam isn't just in its history books or museums. It's alive right here in the deltas. It's in the calloused hands of the rower, the focused gaze of the performer, and the hopeful prayer of the pilgrim. It's a devotion that you can feel, a joy that is infectious. So join me as we navigate these sacred waters. Let's get lost in the crowds, taste the incredible food, and let the sounds of the festival wash over us. We're going to see how, across Vietnam's delta, these celebrations light up the night, connecting people to their past, their environment, and each other, like a brilliant constellation guiding them through the currents of time.
In Vietnam, music and water are two currents of the same soul. This isn't just a poetic saying, it's a living reality, especially in the Mekong Delta. Here, life unfolds on the water. People are born, grow up, and build their lives along the intricate network of rivers and canals. And for centuries, their joys, sorrows, and stories have been woven into a unique musical tradition known as Don Ca Tai Tu. Imagine this. The sun sets, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. A small wooden boat, a sampan, glides gently on the calm water. A lantern casts a warm, flickering glow. And then, the music begins. The melancholic notes of a Dan Kim, the moon lute. slice through the quiet evening air, followed by the sweet, resonant tones of a dan tran, a 16-string zither. A voice rises, not with the power of an opera singer, but with a raw, emotional honesty that speaks directly to the heart. This is the world of Don Ka Tai Tu, a world where music is not performed on a grand stage, but in the most intimate of settings, on a boat, in an orchard, or in a friend's home after a day's work. The name itself, Don Ka Tai Tu, translates to music and songs of amateurs and talented people. This tells you everything you need to know about its spirit. It's not about commercial success or fame. It's about passion, community, and the love of the art form itself. It began in the late 19th century as a pastime for scholars and landowners in the South, a way to connect and express themselves through music. They were the Tai Tu, the talented amateurs. Over time, this refined chamber music blended with the folk songs of the local farmers and boat people, creating a sound that was both sophisticated and deeply rooted in the soil and water of the delta. What makes Don Ka Tai Tu so special? It's the improvisation. While there are 20 principal melodies, or bai ban, that form the backbone of the repertoire, no two performances are ever the same. Musicians don't just play the notes, they interpret them, adding their own personal flourishes, their own nhan nha. It's a conversation between the instruments. The Dan Kim might pose a musical question, and the Dan Tranj answers, while the Dan Ko, the two-string fiddle, weeps in sympathy. The vocalist then weaves their story through this instrumental tapestry, using complex vocal techniques like rung or vibrato and luyan lei, which are these incredibly fluid and ornamental runs between notes. It's a spontaneous creation, a moment of shared artistic expression that can never be perfectly replicated. The instruments themselves are characters in this drama. The Dan Kim, or moon lute, with its deep, mellow voice, often takes the lead. Its two strings can express a profound sense of melancholy or a playful spirit. Then there's the Dan Tran, the zither, whose cascade of notes can sound like a gentle rain or a flowing stream. The Dan Ko, the fiddle, is perhaps the most human-sounding of them all, capable of mimicking the sighs and cries of the human voice. And let's not forget the songlone, a small percussion instrument that looks like a slit drum, which keeps the rhythm, providing the heartbeat for the ensemble. Together, they create a soundscape that is quintessentially Southern Vietnamese. The lyrics of Don Ka Tai Tu songs often draw from classic Vietnamese literature and poetry. They speak of legendary heroes, tragic love stories, the beauty of nature, and the philosophical musings of scholars. But they also tell the stories of everyday life in the Delta. The hardship of a farmer, the longing of someone far from home, the simple joy of a good harvest. When a singer's voice cracks with emotion while singing about a mother's love or a lost homeland, everyone in the room feels it. It's this deep emotional connection, this teen, that is the true essence of the music. It's more than entertainment. It's a form of collective therapy, a way for a community to share its deepest feelings. This art form is passed down not through formal schooling, but through direct transmission, from master to student, from one generation to the next. A young musician learns by listening, by watching, by immersing themselves in the music until it becomes a part of them. They might spend years just learning to hold the instrument correctly, to produce the right tone, to feel the subtle rhythmic and melodic variations. It's a path of patience and dedication, driven by a pure love for the music. In 2013, UNESCO recognized Don Ka Tai Tu as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. This was a monumental moment, acknowledging the global significance of this unique musical tradition. It brought a new wave of appreciation and a renewed effort to preserve it. In a world of fast-paced digital entertainment, the unhurried, intimate, and deeply personal nature of Don Ka Tai Tu offers a powerful antidote. It reminds us of the importance of community, of shared human experience, and of the power of art to connect us to our roots and to each other. But the best way to understand Don Ka Tai Tu is not to read about it, but to experience it. If you ever find yourself in the Mekong Delta, seek it out. You might find a performance in a tourist area, but for the most authentic experience, try to find a local gathering. Picture yourself drifting on a canal as the last light of day fades. The air is thick with the scent of tropical flowers and damp earth. The The gentle lapping of water against the boat is the only sound, until the first notes of a Dan Kim break the silence. In that moment, you're not just listening to a song. You are listening to the history, the culture, and the very soul of the Mekong Delta echoing through the river night. You're hearing the stories of a people whose lives are forever intertwined with the water, expressed in a language that needs no translation. The universal language of music. This is more than just a performance. It's a living tradition. It's the sound of a community sharing its heart, a musical diary of life in one of the most vibrant and vital regions of Vietnam. The melodies of Don Ca Tai Tu are the true songs of the river. A cultural treasure that continues to flow, just like the mighty Mekong itself.
From the soaring peaks of the Tibetan Plateau, a mighty river begins its journey. It carves through mountains, nurtures jungles, and fans out into a vast, life-giving delta. This is the Mekong, a river known by many names. But to the people of Vietnam, it's the Q Long, the Nine Dragons. For millennia, its waters have shaped the land, the culture, and the very soul of this nation. Today we're embarking on a journey down this legendary river, exploring how modern life flows alongside ancient traditions, all connected by its powerful current. Our journey begins in the heart of the Mekong Delta, a sprawling maze of rivers, canals, and lush green islands. Here, life is lived on the water. It's a world where boats are more common than cars, where markets float, and where the rhythm of daily life is dictated by the ebb and flow of the tide. You can feel the energy in the air, the chug of long-tail boat engines, the calls of vendors selling everything from juicy mangoes to fresh-caught fish, the laughter of children splashing at the water's edge. This is the pulse of the Delta. Look at this. This is a floating market, a tradition that goes back centuries. Long before highways and trucks, the river was the main artery of commerce. And even today, this tradition thrives. Each boat has a long pole, a kai beo, with a sample of what they're selling hanging from the top. A pineapple, a bunch of bananas, a head of cabbage. It's a simple, ingenious system. It's more than just a market, it's a community hub. People don't just come here to buy and sell. They come to chat, to share news, and to catch up with friends over a steaming bowl of hu tu noodle soup, served right from a boat. But the Mekong is more than just a marketplace. It's a provider. The rich, alluvial soil deposited by its annual floods creates one of the most fertile regions on Earth. They call it Vietnam's Rice Bowl, and for good reason. It produces over half of the country's rice, feeding millions and making Vietnam a top rice exporter. Flying over the delta, you see an endless patchwork of emerald green rice paddies, crisscrossed by irrigation canals that draw water from the river. Generations of farmers have mastered the art of rice cultivation here, their lives intricately woven with the river's cycles. Life here is a delicate balance. The same floods that bring nutrient-rich silt can also bring destruction. People have learned to adapt, building their houses on stilts, ready for the water's rise. This deep understanding and respect for the river's power is a fundamental part of the delta's identity. It's a relationship built on resilience and ingenuity. As we travel further upstream, leaving the bustling delta behind, the landscape begins to change. The river narrows, its banks growing steeper. We start to see a different side of the Mekong's influence, not just on daily life, but on the very structure of the country. For centuries, the river was a barrier, a formidable obstacle to travel and trade between its two banks. But today, engineering marvels span its width, stitching the country together. Take the Can Tho Bridge, for example. When it opened, it was the longest cable-stayed bridge in Southeast Asia. It's a stunning symbol of modern Vietnam, a testament to the nation's ambition and progress. Before this bridge, crossing the river meant a long, often crowded ferry ride. Now, in minutes, cars and trucks speed across, connecting economic hubs and making life easier for millions. These bridges aren't just concrete and steel, they are lifelines. They represent a new era of connectivity, a bridging of old and new. Under the shadow of these modern giants, You can still see small wooden ferries shuttling people, bicycles and motorbikes across the water. It's a beautiful contrast. The slow, traditional way of life persists, coexisting with the fast-paced demands of a developing economy. It shows that progress doesn't have to mean erasing the past. Instead, it can build upon it. As we move toward the cities, the river's character shifts again. It becomes a backdrop for urban life, a place of recreation and reflection. In cities like Ho Chi Minh City, which is intricately connected to the Mekong Delta through a web of canals, the riverfront is being transformed. Sleek high-rises and modern promenades now line the banks where old warehouses once stood. People come here in the evenings to escape the city's heat, to jog, to enjoy a coffee, or to simply watch the endless procession of barges and boats glide by. The river becomes a canvas for the city's aspirations. At night, the bridges light up in a dazzling display of colors, their reflections dancing on the water's surface. Dinner cruises drift slowly, offering a unique perspective of the city's glittering skyline. Here, the Mekong is a symbol of prosperity and a source of urban beauty. But even amidst this urban transformation, the river's timeless soul remains. It's in the quiet temples that dot its banks, where the scent of incense mingles with the damp river air. It's in the stories passed down through generations, tales of mythical river dragons and spirits that guard its waters. This spiritual connection to the river runs deep in the Vietnamese psyche. It's a source of folklore, poetry, and art. The river is not just a physical entity. It's a living part of the cultural memory. Think of all the memories held within these waters. A first boat ride, a childhood spent swimming in its shallows, a farewell to a loved one as they journeyed downriver. For millions, the Mekong is a silent witness to their lives, its currents carrying their hopes, their dreams, and their histories. It has seen empires rise and fall, wars come and go, and through it all, it has continued to flow, a constant in a world of change. The challenges are real, of course. Climate change, upstream dam construction, and pollution are threats that cast a shadow over the future of the Mekong. The very delta it created is now at risk of sinking, but the spirit of the people here is one of incredible resilience. They are finding new ways to adapt, to farm sustainably, and to protect this vital resource for future generations. The story of the Mekong is not over. It's entering a new, critical chapter. From the floating markets of the delta to the magnificent bridges connecting a nation, the Mekong River is the unifying force of southern Vietnam. It's a place where ancient traditions meet modern ambitions, where the slow, steady rhythm of the water flows alongside the rapid pace of change. It's a provider, a barrier, a lifeline, and a source of inspiration. It's a river of 9 dragons, but it has a million stories to tell. To truly understand Vietnam, you must understand the Mekong. It's a journey that reveals not just the beauty of a landscape, but the enduring spirit of its people. A spirit that, like the river itself, is ever-changing, yet eternally timeless. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey down the Mekong.